Here is Wāfāq. He is a lecturer of international affairs at George Washington University. Nizar, great to have you here with us on TRT World. So we have been seeing similar protests erupt in many different parts of the world, not just here in the United States. I wonder, to what extent do you think these protests are actually making an impact on the US government, for example, on Netanyahu?
Well, definitely the Netanyahu and even the American administration is not too bothered by those protests. I think that the impact of the protests is more long-term. There are far more people, just regular Americans, that were not aware of the extent to which the U.S. is implicated in what happens in the Middle East, and just now they're realizing how much capital is being spent on that war that is coming at the expense of Americans who have education debt, who like in the hurricane, for example, each family got $750 per family, while if you calculate the amount of money that was sent to Israel, each Israeli citizen got $7,500. So people are starting to see that paradox.
So I think it's fair to say that the international outcry has been quite strong, yet there seems to be little movement towards tangible change, towards a ceasefire. I want to ask you something that is possibly on many people's mind within the Gaza Strip. Has the international community failed the people of Gaza?
Yes, they have. It's been clear from very early on that this was a genocide. There are several countries that could have taken steps to stop the supply of weapons or to boycott Israel in ways that would actually have stopped Israel. But unfortunately, all of them have failed the Palestinians.
Now, there are protests from New York and Paris. I mean, they're taking place in many different parts of the world. They're not just calling for an end to the ongoing Israeli onslaught on Gaza. They're demanding many other things that they have been demanding for decades. Of course, that's the liberation of occupied Palestinian territories. So, in the wake of these protests, how likely do you think is it for a two-state solution to be reached, or do you think it's out of question now?
This is unclear yet. Ultimately, any solution needs to be a solution that the Palestinians and the Israelis accept. What matters is to establish the principle that all lives are equal, that all people have equal rights in dignity and freedom. The call for a two-state solution is the solution that is generally accepted by the international community. But yeah, of course, there are political currents that want a one-state solution. Regardless, whatever the people in Palestine and Israel vote for should be what happens there. We shouldn't impose anything on them. That's what I'm saying.
And you know, one thing that I noticed while attending some of these protests, covering them rather, in New York and in Istanbul, is the fact that there is a lot of emotion, especially among the youngsters. Do you think that down the line, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when the youngsters look back, they would feel that, their elders at the time did not do what they were supposed to do?
I'm afraid yes. A lot of the sympathy or empathy, in fact, that a lot of the young folk are having for the Palestinians is that they see the same challenge with those in power, whether it's on climate change or whether it is on safety. The older generation that is in power has failed the younger generation. And here in the U.S., for example, gun safety. So the support for the Palestinian cause is because they see the problem is the same. It's those in power who are benefiting from the suffering of those who have less, and therefore the young generation is having to do something because they don't trust the older generation to help them.
All right, Wāfāq, thanks very much for joining me today here on TRT World. Now, let's bring you some latest pictures that we have received from the capital of Lebanon. Lebanon continues to get